A medical condition which is characterized by sensation of dizziness or spinning, often accompanied by nausea, vomiting, spinning, disorientation and loss of balance. This condition is called vertigo. Vertigo is caused by disruption of inner ear balance mechanism, or it may also be caused by dysfunction of brain which maintains the stability of the body. Vertigo may be spontaneous or it may be triggered by some physiological changes or physical movements of the head or due to trauma or due to accidents of the brain. Now let's try to learn about the risk factors of vertigo. For vertigo risk factors, we have so many factors. In that, the first factor is inner ear disorders. In inner ear disorders, we have 4 different diseases. In that, the first disease is benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, Meniere's disease, labyrinthitis and vestibular neuritis. Sometimes vertigo also can be triggered due to head or neck injuries. It can be caused due to infections in the brain. It will be caused due to migraine, brain disorders like stroke, multiple sclerosis and brain tumors. It can be caused, some medications, the adverse effects of certain drugs also can trigger vertigo. Sometimes anxiety or panic attacks may trigger vertigo. Aging, rapid aging, in older age patients, the inner ear responsiveness will be decreased and that may lead to vertigo. Severe dehydration, which will cause hypotension, that may lead to vertigo. Hypoglycemia, sometimes anemia and hypothyroidism also may cause vertigo. So these are different risk factors for vertigo. Now let us discuss about anti-vertigo drugs or the pharmacology of vertigo. Cinnarizine, promethazine and diphenhydramine. These are H1 blockers. The first class of anti-vertigo drugs, drugs in vertigo or H1 blockers, which are commonly called as antihistamines. In H1 blockers, we have cinnarizine, promethazine and diphenhydramine. Antihistamines will decrease the entry of calcium into the vestibular cells, and through that antihistamines will show anti-vertigo actions. However, these antihistamines or first generation antihistamines, they have certain adverse effects like sedation, low concentration, low coordination, and they are particularly contraindicated in patients who are in driving. So particularly for drivers, these H1 antihistamines are particularly not indicated. Due to their sedative property, antihistamines can be suggested in few vertigo cases. If we see the pharmacokinetics of H1 antihistamines, they are very well absorbed from the GI tract. They are available in parenteral form from the site of administration. Antihistamines are absorbed rapidly and they are distributed to all parts of the body, and they are extensively metabolized in the liver and excreted through urine. Other than vertigo, if you see the uses of antihistamines, sometimes antihistamines are used as sedative, particularly H1 antihistamines. They are commonly used in nausea, vomiting, and most commonly antihistamines are used as allergies. They are used in as anti-allergic agents, and they are also used in pre-anesthetic medications. Next, the drug which is available as anti-vertigo, which is used as anti-vertigo, is hyoscine, which is a strong anticholinergic agent which is very similar to atropine, a quaternary ammonium compound. Hyoscine is particularly used for abdominal cramps, abdominal pains due to cramps. Along with hyoscine, prochlorpromazine shows labyrinthine suppressant action. Through these action, they are used as anti-vertigo drugs. Hyoscine is anticholinergic and it is commonly used for abdominal cramps, whereas prochlorpromazine is D2 blocker which has antipsychotic properties, which is mainly used for migraine, nausea and vomiting. The most commonly used anti-vertigo drug is beta-histine, which is a H1 analog. This drug is very effective for vertigo. It has H3 antagonistic action and H1 agonistic action. Through this, it is postulated that it increases the neurotransmitters like serotonin, acetylcholine and noradrenaline at the site of labyrinthus in the middle ear, and it shows anti-vertigo properties by dilating the blood vessels in the middle ear. Sometimes diuretics are also used in vertigo. Diuretics like acetazolamide and sometimes thiazide diuretics and furosemide. These 3 drugs, they try to decrease the edema in the brain as well as the edema from the middle ear. So they decrease the fluid from the places where edema or wherever the fluid is accumulated in the body. Diazepam and amitriptyline. Diazepam is a benzodiazepine and amitriptyline is a tricyclic antidepressant. These 2 drugs are also used in vertigo. The total information of this diazepam and amitriptyline are available in the description because we have already discussed about these drugs in detail. I'll provide the link in the description. You can study about the pharmacology of diazepam as well as tricyclic antidepressant amitriptyline. So we have discussed about what is vertigo, common causes for vertigo, and drugs which are used in vertigo, and few pharmacological actions as well as certain drugs which are commonly used in vertigo, which are simply considered as anti-vertigo drugs. So I think you have learned something from our video. If you learned something from our video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.